So back in 2021, there was a show on AMC called Kevin Can F Himself. It starred Annie Murphy from Schitt's Creek, which was another great show, but this one only made it for 2 seasons before it was canceled in August 2022. And surprisingly, the big news of the day is the fact that it's being revived for a 3rd season, starring the United States House of Representatives and the Republican caucus, because once again, Kevin McCarthy failed to become Speaker of the House after a 4th, 5th, and 6th round of votes. You know, it's interesting to contemplate human psychology, especially the psychology of public figures, even politicians, because despite the cynicism and dirtiness of that profession, you would expect that somebody with any sort of capacity for dignity or self-respect would eventually, just crumble under the weight of public shame. Certainly when it's on a national or international stage. But Kevin McCarthy seems to have just gone past that. He's either mutated or evolved past the need for those sensations, or he's regressed, and whatever, neurochemicals or, neural pathways were required for such things, they've just corroded or evaporated. They're no longer there. But here we are, day 2 of the House speakership vote, and there have been 3 additional rounds, and he has failed those 3 additional rounds, just as he did in the first 3 rounds yesterday. The Democratic minority leader, Hakeem Jeffries, once again secured the plurality of votes, not the majority. Otherwise, Jeffries would be the Speaker of the House, and boy, would that be great. It would be great if there was a Republican majority, and yet a Democrat was able to secure the speakership. That would be a real coup, pun intended. But unfortunately, we're not there, and that's not likely to happen. But we did get to see McCarthy humiliated for 3 additional rounds, and he came in 2nd place all 3 rounds, 201 votes. But 2nd place is first loser, right? So we can mock him for that. It's also interesting to track the progression of the Never Kevin votes, because on day 1 it was like 19 votes. And today it's 20 votes. They voted for Byron Donalds in protest. And actually, the number of Never Kevin seems to have increased because 1 additional person voted present. So they didn't vote for any particular candidate. They just basically took their vote out of the equation, out of the total. But they didn't give it to Kevin. So now it seems like Kevin's facing 21 people who in his caucus who will not vote for him. The number is increasing, which is surprising to me because, as I said in a previous video today, Kevin McCarthy got the public endorsement of Donald Trump. And I mean, once upon a time, that would have been everything for the Republican Party because Donald Trump was God King of the GOP. And he's still the high priest of Cult 45. He's still, the MAGA Messiah. But it seems like his endorsements don't mean what they used to. And I mean, we've tracked that a bit, right? Trump has lost appeal to moderates and centrists. It seems like that sail is swinging towards, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. But the surprising thing for me is how little Trump's endorsement meant to the Freedom Caucus, because they're seen as the far-right movement of the GOP and the contingent that is most aligned and most loyal to Donald Trump. And so when Trump gave his endorsement today, I was expecting, that would reduce the obstacles in McCarthy's path, if not clear the path outright, right? Because Matt Gaetz and Lauren Bobert and all the people aligned against McCarthy profess themselves to be strident Trump loyalists. And yet, as much of today has been a bad day for Kevin McCarthy, it seems like it's just as bad of a day for Donald Trump, because his endorsement, not only didn't mean anything, it seems to have encouraged a bit of defiance. But don't take it from me. Take it from, of all people, Lauren Bobert.
So let's work together. Let's stop with the campaign smears and tactics to get people to turn against us, even having my favorite president call us and tell us we need to knock this off. I think it actually needs to be reversed. The president needs to tell Kevin McCarthy that, sir, you do not have the votes, and it's time to withdraw. And with that, I yield. Thank you.
How about that? Not only did they defy Trump, or not only did they ignore Trump, they've defied him. He's being publicly defied on the floor of the House of Representatives by Lauren freaking Bobert, of all people. I mean, I can't imagine how Trump feels watching this at Mar-a-Lago. Not because he has any personal affection for Kevin McCarthy. I mean, the two have gone back and forth just like Trump with everybody else, right? At various points, Trump felt that McCarthy was insufficiently loyal to him. Kevin McCarthy dared to publicly criticize him after January 6th. So, number one, the endorsement was surprising. And number two, the pragmatism of the endorsement was even more surprising because Donald Trump is an idiot and a malignant narcissist. And for him to behave pragmatically is extremely rare. But the third and the biggest surprise of the night is the fact that he's being openly defied. He's not only being ignored. People are not just not doing what he says. He's being lectured. He's being defied. His supporters, his cultists are saying, actually, Trump, Donald, you need, instead of lecturing us, instead of calling us out, instead of telling us what to do, you should do this. That is surprising. And it doesn't bode well for Donald Trump, and actually has interesting implications for 2024 and the future of the GOP, because it may be that we're seeing not only Trump lose his power and influence over moderate Republicans, but also the Freedom Caucus, right? Now, I will say that Axios has reported that the House has not adjourned for the day, right? So they are adjourning until 8 p.m., so just a few hours away, to give the Republicans more time to negotiate, right? So it'll pick up at 8 p.m. I don't know how many more rounds it'll go. It seems like 3 rounds has been the standard. 3 yesterday, 3 earlier this morning. So maybe it'll be another 3 at 8. And I don't know, obviously what will come of this. It seems unlikely that Kevin McCarthy will find the magic phrase, the magic combination of words to persuade the never Kevin contingent to vote for him. But maybe this buys him time to get on the phone to Trump and say, hey, Mr. President, I need you to wrangle your minions here. They're not heeding your orders. So there's no telling what might happen. But again, this is another round of humiliation for Kevin McCarthy, the Republican Party in general, and more importantly, Donald Trump. So we'll see what happens at 8.